The face on the screen contorts as the corporate trainer's smile splits unnaturally wide, revealing rows of teeth that shouldn't be there. "Congratulations on recognizing the signs of non-compliance in your co-workers," he says, his voice distorting. "Now let me show you what happens to them." The video cuts to a room I recognize as our break room, but the walls are covered with something that glistens wetly. A figure wearing our company uniform stands in the center, head bowed, while others in suits surround them. I can't breathe as I realize what I'm seeing isn't special effects. The timestamp in the corner reads 04/15/1994. 3 days before 23 employees were reported missing from this very building. 3 days ago, I was cleaning out the storage closet on the 3rd floor, a mindless task assigned to me as punishment for questioning our department's new protocols. The closet hadn't been touched in decades, filled with obsolete equipment from when this building belonged to Meridian Corp before our company acquired it. Behind a stack of dusty monitors, I found a box labeled Orientation Materials, Restricted Access. Inside were VHS tapes numbered 1 through 9. Curiosity got the better of me. I pocketed tape number 7, with its faded label reading Employee Compliance Training. That night in my apartment, I dug out my old VCR from college and hooked it up. The screen flickered to life with Meridian's logo, a simplistic sun rising over a horizon line. Training Video 7. Employee orientation appears in blocky text. A man in a crisp suit introduces himself as Richard Lamont, head of employee relations. His delivery is stiff, typical of corporate videos from the 90s. "At Meridian, we value team cohesion above all else," he explains with a practiced smile. "This module will help you identify and report non-compliant behavior in your colleagues." Something about his eyes seems wrong. Too focused, too bright. The video quality is poor, tracking issues creating lines across the screen. Lamont walks through a bustling office, pointing out model employees who sit with perfect posture, never looking away from their screens. "Notice the appropriate work rhythm," he says, gesturing to a woman typing. I lean closer to the TV as I notice her fingers are bleeding slightly, yet she continues typing without pause. The camera never lingers long enough to be certain, but something feels off about all the employees. Their movements too synchronized, smiles too fixed. Lamont approaches a man whose desk is slightly disorganized. "Here we observe early signs of non-compliance," he says. The camera zooms uncomfortably close to the man's face. His eyes dart nervously toward Lamont, then back to his computer. The video jumps to a new section titled Identification Protocols. Lamont stands in a sterile white room. Non-compliant employees display recognizable behavioral patterns, he explains. A bulleted list appears. Questioning directives, excessive bathroom breaks, personal items on desks, insufficient smile frequency, clock watching, and improper thought patterns. I pause the video. That last item sends a chill through me. How would they monitor thoughts? I press play again. Your Meridian-issued wristwatch contains sensors to monitor vital signs, Lamont continues. The camera cuts to employees wearing identical silver watches. Elevated heart rates during routine activities may indicate non-compliant thought patterns requiring intervention. His smile widens just a fraction too much. The next segment shows a break room where employees sit in perfect rows, eating identical meals. Proper nutrition ensures compliance, Lamont narrates. Company-provided meals contain all necessary supplements. The camera pans across their trays, showing a grey protein cube, vitamin capsules, and a thin green liquid in paper cups. One woman hesitates before drinking her liquid. Immediately, two employees beside her turn their heads in perfect synchronization to stare at her. She quickly downs the drink. Lamont appears in the frame again. Should you notice a co-worker bringing outside food or declining supplements, complete Form C23 immediately. He holds up a form that reads Non-Compliance Report at the top, with a large red stamp reading Confidential. Regular compliance assessments maintain workplace harmony, Lamont explains as the video shows employees entering a room labeled Wellness Evaluation. The tracking on the tape worsens, distorting the image. When it clears, the scene has changed. Employees sit in circles, each person staring intently at the person to their right. Peer evaluation ensures no deviation goes unnoticed, Lamont says. But his voice sounds different now, deeper, with an unnatural resonance. The camera zooms in on one circle, where an employee is sweating profusely as others stare at him. When Jeremy declined to participate in synchronization exercises, his peers recognized his potential disruption to collective harmony. The man glances at the camera, his eyes pleading. The frame freezes on his face as Lamont asks, "Can you recognize the signs of imminent non-compliance?" The video quality deteriorates further. Between bursts of static, I see what appears to be security footage. A group of employees corner Jeremy in a hallway. Their movements are unnaturally coordinated as they surround him. The timestamp indicates this occurred at 2:17 a.m. No one should have been in the building at that hour. The footage cuts to Lamont sitting at a desk. Response Protocol B is activated when verbal correction proves insufficient. His smile remains fixed, but a dark stain is now visible on his collar. "Is that blood?" He continues as if nothing is amiss. Remember, compliance is contagious. So is resistance. The camera pulls back to reveal employees standing silently behind him, their faces expressionless, eyes fixed on the camera. They blink in perfect unison. The next segment is labeled Advanced Compliance Techniques. Lamont walks through a door marked Authorized Personnel Only. The camera follows him into a dimly lit room filled with equipment I don't recognize. Part medical, part mechanical. For persistently non-compliant individuals, Meridian provides rehabilitation services. The camera pans to show reclined chairs with restraints and the helmets connected to pulsing machines. After treatment, employees return with enhanced dedication to our corporate family. The video cuts to show before and after footage. The after employees move differently, fluid but somehow mechanical, their expressions serene but empty. I pause the tape, my hands shaking. The building layout shown in the video matches our current office. That room would be directly below my department. The tape quality improves suddenly, as if switching to a different recording. Lamont appears again, now standing in front of a wall of monitors showing employees at their desks. By now, you've learned to identify non-compliance. Let's see how well you do. The camera pans across workers as Lamont narrates. One of these employees will disrupt collective harmony today. Can you spot them? I study each face carefully, unsure what I'm supposed to see. Then I notice it. A woman blinking out of sync with others, her movements slightly hesitant. Before I can process this, the video cuts to footage of her being escorted into a room by colleagues. Their grips on her arms look painful. She isn't resisting, just confused. The video quality deteriorates again as the scene changes to the break room. The walls glisten with something dark and viscous. The woman from the previous segment stands in the center, surrounded by suits. "Congratulations on recognizing the signs of non-compliance in your co-workers," Lamont says, his face filling the screen with that unnatural smile. Teeth too numerous, too sharp. "Now, let me show you what happens to them." What follows is not special effects or staged corporate training. The suits close in around her, their movements synchronized yet jerky, inhuman. The timestamp in the corner reads 044-15-1994, 3 days before the mass disappearance. I try to look away but can't. This isn't acting. This is real. I shut off the TV, gasping for breath in my dark apartment. The VCR makes a grinding noise as it automatically rewinds the tape. I need to tell someone, show them this evidence of what? Corporate murder, brainwashing, something worse. I grab my phone, but before I can dial, it rings in my hand. The caller ID shows my workplace. It's 11:47 p.m. No one should be calling this late. I answer hesitantly. "Hello?" The voice on the other end is my supervisor's, but wrong somehow. The same unnatural resonance I heard in Lamont's voice. "We've detected unauthorized access to restricted materials. Please remain at your location for compliance evaluation." My doorbell rings. I peer through the peephole to see 3 of my co-workers standing perfectly still, their faces expressionless. I'm writing this using the scheduling feature of my email, set to send tomorrow morning. I've barricaded myself in the bathroom. They're still outside my apartment door, occasionally calling my name in perfect unison. The tape is hidden in the ventilation duct. On a hunch, I checked my company-issued smartwatch, the modern equivalent of those silver watches in the video. I pried open the bag and found something that isn't standard technology, a pulsing component I don't recognize. When I removed it, I felt a fog lift from my mind. How long have they been monitoring us? The doorknob is turning now. I hear splintering wood. What scares me most isn't what they'll do to me, but the realization that tomorrow I'll be at my desk again, smiling too widely, movements too fluid, completely compliant, and no one will notice anything wrong. Don't face the horrors alone. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you want your nightmare seen, email it to stories@hallocroft.com.